Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to talk about some friggin' books. So I've seen quite a few people do something like this or this very thing. My good friend Elliot, she does the funny one-star reviews for just popular books, which is quite hilarious. And then I saw Ola, and her and I were talking about it. Ola Quinn, she did reading one-star reviews or negative reviews of her personal favorite books. And then I'm pretty sure Julie at Pages and Pens did the same type of thing. I think she did reading low reviews for favorite books too. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I have, quite a few favorites. I just kind of skimmed through a few that are on my faves list on Goodreads, my favorite shelf, and scrolled through to see which ones were worthy of talking about. And yeah, some of them are pretty freaking hilarious. So And I Darken by Kiersten White. It's historical fiction, YA, we're following. It's basically like a Vlad the Impaler reimagining with a gender bend, okay? And something that I do know from Elliot's funny one-star reviews, and me and Elliot just talking about this, is that a lot of people who are from Romania and just that region in general do not like this book because it's historical fiction, but I guess I don't know the history, but it seems that according to them and what they learn in school and everything, there were great liberties taken with the fiction aspect of the historical stuff. And which I get, but also, I don't know, I feel kind of weird about that because I'm it's clearly historical fiction. She just was making stuff up. I see it as she thought this was an interesting character and story, wanted to write the female version or a female reimagining, and just kind of, I feel like it's a loose historical aspect, I guess. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, when I go into historical fiction, I guess I'm not expecting it to be all that accurate, but I can understand because a lot of the negative reviews talking about that were saying that it was done in a way that basically made their history out to be way negative and making certain people that are heroes in their history, making them negative and out to be the bad guy, and they just didn't appreciate that, which that's fine, that's fair, can understand. This one in particular, some of these are just from clips because a lot of reviews are very long, especially ranty reviews. They're very long. So this is a clip. This one just cracked me up. The simplicity of you'll see. Unlike many people on here, I am incapable of hate reading any book. This is either going to end up on my DNF shelf or someone take me back in time so I can slap past me for not reading this sooner. Thoughts as I read. Radu and Lada are easily two of the most hideous names I've ever heard. And that's the end of the review. That just cracks me up because they're just I hate their names, bye. I assume they DNF'd it. There were many other one-star, most of the one-star reviews for that though talked about the historical inaccuracies. So, and then we have Nutshell by Ian McEwan. I don't know why I didn't pick up And I Darken, whatever. You guys know what it looks like. So I really like Ian McEwan. It's very literary fiction, right? And sometimes not really much happens in his books, but I enjoy them. A lot of the one-star reviews talk about how pretentious and whatever. I could see that. That's a fair assessment and a fair opinion for sure. But this book is told from the point of view of an unborn child in the womb. And he's hearing his mother and his parents and the people around them. And it's a mystery. And I guess apparently it's a Hamlet retelling. I had no idea. I'm not super familiar with Hamlet. So I didn't pick up on that or notice. But this fetus is so snarky. And he talks a very persnickety and highbrow adult man. And I just thought it was fucking hilarious. A lot of people did not though. Intriguing idea having the whole story from the point of view of a fetus, but also could you not have done that? Did not like the writing style, a weird read where I hated all the characters and was a struggle to finish even though it's only 200 pages long. This is one of the most pretentious and ridiculous books I have read in a long time. Shame, because I've read others by Ian McEwan and enjoyed them. This one was not for me, I'm afraid. I hate this book. I really do. This one, I think it's quite long. And I just think it's, I don't know, it's so funny because they're like so apologetic. Dear Ian McEwan, you write beautiful, which isn't, I'll stop. Your use of language is great. I hate your books anyway, except for Amsterdam. I really like that one. It made me laugh. But Nutshell and Atonement? Nope. By the 10th page, while I am admiring the use of language, I want everyone to die. Everyone. I wanted the Blitz early. I wanted Trudy to get an abortion. I just wanted it to end. I'm not sure why. I don't think you hate women or are sexist. Nope, I have listened to you speak and you seem really awesome and wonderful. As a pro-choice person, I wasn't even seeing this book as a pro-life mantra, as some people have tried to make it. It's an interesting twist on Hamlet, I suppose. So the only conclusion I can reach is that it is me. I mean, was I supposed to laugh so much at Amsterdam? Sorry, I guess I just don't find your women or girl characters believable. Look, you are not writing one of those stereotypical women characters written by man characters. You know, the woman who's always looking at her breasts and the nipples are always up. She sleeps naked, welcomes sexual assault and harassment, and hates every other woman. No, you don't write those types of characters. Thank God. Yet, to me, your female characters feel unorganic. I think they meant feel unorganic. If that makes sense. And in this book, even the male characters feel that way to me. Even the speaker. It's me, I know. I understand why people love you so much. I do. Your sentences are so pretty. Amsterdam was so great. Yeah, it's me. I'm really sorry. Oh my God. But yeah, I like that one because, I don't know. That's like how I kind of feel when when I don't like a book. Sometimes books are just like, what the fuck is this? But like there's other 1-star reviews saying that they thought this was so sexist. And I was like, I don't remember thinking that at all. Am I just like an awful person, or I didn't get it? But then I saw other ones being like, no, I don't think it was sexist. But it's interpretation. That's the thing. Like, it's how you interpret things. Next is Soulless by Gail Carriger. I love this, but it's like a paranormal romance, steampunk type thing. And I was just like, oh, I bet there's a few 1-star reviews for that. And there are. And it's so funny to me that quite a few of them seem to not, like, it seems like they just didn't understand that it was a paranormal romance because they were like hella pissed at all the sex and the romance. It's so funny. I am only going to finish this because it is a book club selection of the club I am in. It has been, in a word, excruciating. Very disappointing. The premise is interesting and the world is clever, but the author apparently thought the book couldn't stand on its own merits, so she threw in a bunch of sex. Otherwise, it seemed like the book would have been 3 stars. That's like one of the best one that I saw where I was like, I feel like people didn't know that it was a paranormal romance. Like they weren't aware. And that can happen. A lot of people with Andy Darkin thought it was a fantasy. And so I totally get, like, if you go into a book not quite knowing what the genre is and you're expecting it to be one thing and then it's something completely different, like, yeah, man, that's gonna be hella disappointing. Okay, you guys, this one, I just was scrolling through my favorites list, like I said, on my Goodreads, and Diary of Anne Frank is one of my favorites, okay? And I was like, there's probably 1-star reviews for this. I'm curious. A lot of the 1-star reviews for this, though, a lot of them just say, like, is boring, which I can understand. Like, it's just her diary, like, of being trapped for 3 years in this, like, attic. Not a lot happens. Also, a lot of people are clearly, like, Holocaust deniers that think that she didn't really write any of this, and there's all these arguments about when the ballpoint pen came out because it was written with a ballpoint pen. And I don't know where this information comes from. I don't know how much of that is true. Or when a ballpoint pen was invented, because there were also arguments about that on these reviews, and I didn't pay attention to any of those. So this first one, I don't mean to make it like a roasting people's reviews thing. Because like I said, a lot of them just say that it's boring, and I get that, like, yeah. And because a lot of people are forced to read this for school, and they're just like, why? And they hate it, and I get it. This person I don't think understood that it was legitimately like a diary. I realized that this book is supposed to be about the true suffering that took place during the Holocaust. But give me a break. The Franks and the others in the annex were practically living in luxury. All Anne did was complain. Yes, I get that many of your privileges were taken away and essentially your freedom to roam, but you are alive. Doesn't that account for anything? On another note, maybe this is because I hang out with guys for the most part. But the way she talked about other girls really freaked me out. Perhaps that is why I don't hang out with girls, because I'd start ogling them while they slept too. Plus did anyone also find it strange that Peter was always in his room alone for hours playing with his cat? Yeah, that's all I have to say. All in all, Anne, shut up. You whine too much and really too much information. I'm sorry to this person. I'm not trying, I can't take that seriously. It's her fucking diary. You try being trapped in a fucking attic for 3 years, right? It was 3 years. It's been a while since I read it. Even if it was 6 months, you do it and see how much you complain and how much you hate your life. What the fuck? And also, no, hanging out with girls doesn't make you ogle them. But if you're bisexual or lesbian, yeah, and that's a thing. People are bisexual. People are lesbians. A teenage girl can find her friends sexually attractive. Why is that? Okay. And then, yeah, Peter is up alone with his cat all the time. What? He's a teenage boy. And he's trapped in this freaking attic with these people for years. He wants to be alone, you know? This is the one that really kind of pissed me off. I just can't. If I could rate this less, I would. Let me start off by saying, I know you are all going to say, oh, it's her diary, she's allowed to babble, or she didn't know it was going to be published, or even it's about the Holocaust, you have to respect it. No, none of those things is what I think. But then they go on to say, everyone says she's a saint just because she died in the Holocaust doesn't mean I have to like it. The writing style is poor. Yes, even for a diary. And I have my doubts about whether this is even real or not. Okay. Then they say how annoying Anne is and that she's selfish and she's disrespectful. So in short, just because it's a diary from a young girl from the Holocaust doesn't mean I have to like it. And if it was anyone else besides Saint Anne Frank, I don't think it would even be in print. At the end, I wanted to hear in vivid detail how she died, but I was even disappointed with that. Smiley face. And most of these are silly and kind of oh, you didn't realize it was a thing, or you just thought it was boring, and okay, whatever. And even the ones where they're I think it's fake, I think that's dumb, but whatever, that's fine. But that shit, when I read that, I'm not gonna lie, what in the ever-loving fuck? This was an actual person who died in the fucking Holocaust, and you're cracking a joke, and I'm not that sensitive of a person, you guys probably know this, but seriously, what the fuck? I was not happy when I read that. I just feel like you're a terrible person, not because you didn't like the book and you thought Anne was annoying, but because of that crack right there. You're a dick. You're a fucking awful person. Sorry. Fucking fight me. So that's that. Ending on a bad note. God. Most of the time, 1-star reviews to me are just funny because if you're rating a book that low, you have some feelings about it, you know what I mean? I rarely rate books 1 star because if I'm getting the feeling that it's a 1 star, if I'm disliking it that much, I just DNF it. And then I personally don't give a book a star rating. If I DNF it, I just might write a review, be DNF'd at whatever %. And I might say why I DNF'd it, but I don't give it the star rating. And that's just a personal thing. I'm not saying anybody, everybody has to do it my way. So that's really it. I don't have anything else currently. I was gonna pick another book. This is probably gonna be way too long of a video already. I'll be done now. All right, thank you so much for your time, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.